Okay. So if there is no question, let me go to the break and continue. So I'm just creating inside of loops only, like break example. Break and continue are both are the keywords. So those are the keywords. So let me create a main method. Inside of it, let me have okay. So let me create a for loop. You can apply for any loops actually, break and continue. Even before this, so we'll just discuss about what is a break. Break, whenever break is a keyword. So whenever you execute a break inside of a for loop, so it will be the last line of execution for that for loop. It will break the whole for loop. It will break the whole loop and it will come out of the loop and it will the next further lines, right? So that's a use of a break statement. So whenever you execute a break, it will break the whole loop. It will come out of the loop directly. So let me just show you the very basic example. Int I equals to 1, I less than or equals to 5, I plus plus. Okay. Now, if you directly keep break here, so what will happen? Start with println and just print I. It will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because I is keep on incrementing, right? Inside of a system.println, you are keeping the I in a printing, right? In a loop, instead of a loop, you are keeping the system.println with the I statement. So it will print the value of I for each and every iteration. So let me comment out the break statement. I'm just commenting out. So let's see the output first. You can see main started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and main ended. 5 times it is printing. Whenever I execute a break statement without a condition, directly I'm executing the break. So what will happen? See, right after executing the 1, in the very first iteration, it will come and execute these 2 lines. So whenever you execute this first line, it will print the I value, it is a 1. And now whenever you are executing the second statement is a break, directly it is breaking the whole for loop and it will come out of the loop and it is printing main ended. That's what we see in here. So usually break will not directly applicable for the for loop. So in conditional way, by using some conditions, you will keep if I equals to 3, then break it. Whenever I reaches to the 3, it will break the whole for loop. It will not go for a 4th iteration and 5th iteration. So first it will take the I equals to 1 and it will print the I equals to 1 and it will check whether I equals to 3 or not. No, it's not a 3. I still it's a 1. Now it will go to the second iteration by using I plus plus. Now it will print the 2. 2 also will check with the 3. It is not true. And it is again go back to the third iteration. So it will be I plus plus, I equals to 3. Now it will print the 3. After printing 3, it will check 3 equals to 3. So it's a true. Then it will break the whole for loop. Now it will come out of the loop and it will print main ended. So how many times this system.println executed? For I equals to 1 it is executed. For I equals to 2 it is executed. For I equals to 3 also it is executed. Right? Now let's see. Save it. Now run it again. You can see 1, 2, 3 it is printing. Not 4 and 5. Based on a condition you are breaking the whole for loop. You understood? Anyone has any queries? Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay. So you don't have any queries, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what will happen if I put system.println after if condition like this? So how many times it will print? I mean, I wanted the output. So what will be the output for it? Can anyone tell me the output of this? We'll start from 1. I'll try run this. I will start from 1. Not true, it's a false. Print the 1. And I will be 2. Checking the condition, not true. Print the 2. And I will be 3. It's true. And it will break the condition. Now it will come out of the loop. So it will not go for a printing statement for the I equals to 3. Right? Because break condition even executing before system.out.println. So even for a 3 equals to 3, for I equals to 3, will not go for system.out.println. So it just print 1 and 2. You can see this. So that's a difference. If you put system.println before break or after break, that will be the execution flow. Now the continue. So this is about a break. Now let's go to the continue. Now in this, create a main method. In this, let me have a same thing, same for loop. Okay, so now create a for loop. Int I equals to 1, I is less than or equals to 5, I plus plus. Okay, now whenever I execute a continue, what will happen? So whenever I execute a break, it will break the whole loop. But whenever I execute a continue, so what will happen? In any iteration, if you execute a continue, so what will happen? It will try to skip that particular iteration only. It will be applicable for the iteration level, not in a whole for loop. It will not break the whole for loop. It will break the current iteration. Let's, some lines are there. 5 lines are there. And you are executing continue statement here in a particular iteration. Let's say in conditional basis, you are executing particular iteration. You execute a continue in a particular iteration. So here, if you execute a continue, it will just break the current iteration. It will directly go to the next iteration. It will not execute the remaining 2 lines. Right? So let's start with some printing statements. I will keep I. This means what it will print? I iteration started means 1 iteration started and 1 iteration ended, 2 iterations started and 2 iteration ended. Like this it will print, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now this is what it is, just printing. Just try to execute the program as of now. You can see 1 iteration started, 1 iteration is ended. 2 iterations started and 2 iteration is ended. 3, 4, 5. So for each and every iteration, these 2 lines are printed. Now, let me execute a continue on a conditional basis. Let's say any condition you can write. If condition will become true, it will execute a continue statement. Let's say if I equals to 4. For a 4th iteration, I'm just executing a continue. What will happen if you execute a continue? whenever you execute a continue, this will be the last line. It will directly go to the next iteration. It will go to the next iteration. It will skip the current iteration, and whatever is the remaining lines are there in the current iteration, it will not bother about it. It will directly go to the next iteration. So let's see. You can see first iteration started, ended properly. Second also started, ended. Third also started, ended. But for fourth, you can see it is just started, not ended. Whenever I equals to 4, it will execute a fourth iteration started. And whenever you are executing I equals to 4, it will be true. Then it will do the continue. Continue means it will directly go to the next iteration, like I++. It will become 5. It will not execute. It will not come and execute the below lines after continue, right? So that's about a continue. It will break the current iteration only. It will not break the whole for loop. Break statement will break the whole for loop, but continue statement will break the current iteration, and it will go to the directly next iteration, right? And here one more thing: is there any point to keep the continue at end of the for loop like this? Like at last, is there any? Is this true? Is there any thing? Is there anything like it will get execute? It will skip whenever I equals to 4 continue, it will go to the next iteration. Even though if you're not executing continue also, it will go to the next iteration only, right? So that remember that if you're using continue, there should be some purpose. Purpose is like whenever you are done with the current iteration, okay, this is done. You don't need to execute the further lines. Then you will do the continue. And keeping the continue at the last line of iterations, last line of the loop is not going to make any difference. Even though I equals to 4, it will do the continue, it will go to the next iteration. There is no further lines to execute, right? There is no point to keep a continue in the last line, right? So yeah, this is about a continue statement. Any questions so far, guys? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. I think this two is done. So let's go to the one more thing. So here, the basics, I just wanted to create a, show you some difference actually. So main method, and after that, so whenever you just try to print something, hello world, and again one more hello world. So let me run it. So what will happen if you try to execute this? It will print 2 hello worlds, and where it is exactly printing? So it is printing in a next line. You can observe why it is not printing in a, though you are keeping the 2 system.printlns in the same line, that doesn't matter. It is printing in a 2 lines. Why?
It will go to the new line, sir. If you give println, it will go to the next line.
Yes, that's a difference actually. There is a one more. Print is also there. Instead of ln, just print, or just try to keep only print, but the first thing. So what will happen this time? So it will print, just it will print. It will not take the new line. So ln means it will take the new line, right? So try to execute once. You can see hello world. First it is printed hello world. The cursor is at after hello world only, still here only. Here you can see here, and after that it is printing hello world again with the print ln. The cursor is now what? Is after that it will print the hello world and it will take the new line. You can see ln is there here, right? It will take the new line. You can observe the cursor is at down point here. Here in the second line, the cursor is. Try to remove this ln also and run it. You can see still the cursor. I am just clicking here, but cursor is at very first line only. That's the difference between print and println. If you do the only print, it will just keep on printing in the same line. It will not take the new line. If you do the println, it will take the new line. What will happen? What will be the output for it? First, it will print the hello world and it will take the new line. Two statements clearly it is saying, right? Print and ln. Now it will print the line and as it will print the statement and it will take the new line. After taking the new line, it is just printing hello. That's it in the second line. Now the cursor is at second line only. Still, you can see the cursor is at second line. Here, end of the second line. Still it is here. If you try to print anything, it will start printing from here. It will start printing from here. Right? So that's the difference between print and println. So any questions so far?
Sir, in Java, printf is not there, sir. Printf also we will give it.
Printf is also there, but most probably not actually. That is for some other purpose actually. We cannot give a single, see, if you wanted to print a single value, you can just use it. But printf is for some other. We wanted to have, so you can read it. Conversion method to write a format string to this output string using the specified format string. That's fine. No need actually. No need to go for printf. I think this is the
Okay, sir.
C language, right?
Yeah, sir. C language.
Yeah. No need to go for printf and all the stuff. Println or print is,
Okay.
but you should know about the difference between these two. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.